Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. The next market crash might be right around the corner inside of FC26, and that means it's time to think about selling some players from our teams. Of course, Team of the Year would be the culprit as to why player prices could start dropping, and we're getting our first Team of the Year news in just a couple of days. But really in this video, what I want to do and what I want to show you is how I think the market's going to move in the next 2 weeks and how you can save yourself from losing a lot of coins before the big promo of Team of the Year. Plus, we're going to take a look at today's content on Monday, which brings back the return of FC Pro, which means we're going to be selling in the hype and also looking at the pretty good viewership rewards that we get for just watching this stream today. We'll be talking about that and looking at some more SBC content that we should be getting today as well on probably a quiet Monday. But let's discuss, guys. If you're excited for the video, drop a thumbs up on it, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now, yesterday's Sunday content's where we're going to start first with a boost to the rewards in a Rush objective, History Makers Flash Rush event. Guys, I have not played Rush seriously near as much this year in FC26 as I did previously in FC25. They have not made it worth it to play Rush. But this little event here for playing 5, scoring 5, assisting 5, and getting 40,000 Rush points in a double Rush point mode actually has some pretty good packs and 500 SP, which is very important since we're still newly into this season. An 84 double, 83 3, an 82 times 4, and an 86 plus pack is the group reward. Of course, at the same time of doing this in a double Rush point mode, you can work towards the weekly Rush points, so the double dip, as we've called it before, is active. Now, I will say, in Rush right now, I believe a lot of people are doing Evos for Hullet and for other chains. Specifically for Hullet, you have to be very quick if you want to Evo your card, because a lot of people will back out if you choose Hullet and, you want to use Hullet and you can't get him in, if that makes sense. So, honestly, the best way to play Rush is probably just squad up with a couple of friends or just type in the Discord in the looking for games section, because there's always people in there that'll be looking for games as well. And you might be able to find some help and get with a crew of players that won't be quitting out on you every time you go into a random match because somebody else chose Hullet, and then that person or you cannot Evo them. So that's the Flash Rush event there. Let's go to Evolutions, where we had another one of the seemingly infinite repeatable Evos. And I mean, they're not infinite because there's a number that's a limit, but it's a lot. 41 times that we can do the Peak Endurance Evolution, which gives +3 stamina up to 90. So this one actually has a stat cap, unlike the Balance and the Vision Evo boost that we have that do not have a stat cap. But 90 stamina is awesome, and the fact you can go 41 times through this evolution is really, really great as well. I'm doing it on Van de Ven right now because he had stamina in the mid-70s, so I'm going to take him up into the 80s, and there's just so many options that you have with this Evo. You can use it on some of the Silver Star Icon players, of course. I mean, really, the only requirements here are max 85 overall. So, of course, people are putting Hullet into this. I mean, I look at the Hullet evolution that I'm working on right now. He's got 75 stamina, so I'm going to be absolutely boosting his card through this. Now, I will say, I'm going to put Hullet through the level 8 season pass evolution that gives a physical boost called Architect. And sometimes it's worth waiting, in my opinion, putting some of these individual stat boosts on these cards, even the Vision and the Balance boosts here, until after you've given them the bigger Evos, specifically for the Silver Icons that are lower rated, because sometimes you won't have to use as many of these if you're already boosting up the dribbling stat as a whole or the physical stat, which would then impact stamina in another evolution. So that's just one tip that I wanted to give you guys there, especially with the Hullet chains being super, super popular. Once again, Pele chains. I mean, I'm working through some of these Evos as well, like we talked about yesterday. Like 3 out of the 4 games I think I played of Champs yesterday, I think there was a Hullet in the opposing team that I was coming up against. So, yeah, I started putting Hullet into fresh legs, and then after that, I'm actually going to keep him as a 74 rated and put him into the small defensive stat boosting Evo from the bronze tournament time warp objective that we have right now, right here, the group reward that gives intercept and anticipate, but I'm really just going to give a small defensive boost to Hullet. So I'm going to do that there. Going to get my bronze games done and do that. So that's the current Hullet evolution. I don't have a chain for this one. Honestly, I forgot what Evos I've been putting him into, but it's kind of like everything that he fits into, I'm going to put him into. One more thing for evolutions that I want to mention. Of course, this is the biggest part of the game right now. There's a whole bunch of reward Evos. If you're like me, you probably have a whole list in here that says it's expiring in 3 days. Just double check your reward section, because some of these are good, some of them aren't, but some of them are pretty good, and you're not going to want to let them fall to the wayside and expire on you. So make sure you check that out for the next 3 days. There's a bunch of rewards evos that are expiring. Now, let's get to the best part of yesterday's content on Sunday, which brought us a Bobby Charlton Icon Player SBC and the new Icon Player pick. First, the Bobby Charlton SBC. Like I told you guys, this dude is really, really good in game. I know this is his main 92 rated base icon version, and of course you've got the silver version that I'm used to using with some different playstyles. I know he's got the Power Shot Plus, which is a turnoff for a lot of people, but honestly, all of his other base playstyles and just the way that he is in game, he's incredible. So I don't think this SBC is great value unless Bobby Charlton is just a guy you gotta have in your club. And if that's you, then I think you can chip away at this. I mean, I don't love that there's 3 88 rated squads in here and an 89, bringing the total price tag to 723,000 coins for this Bobby Charlton SBC when his price on the market is 630K. I don't love that at all. Again, we think back to Black Friday where we had the Cafu and the Carlos Alberto, and that player SBC with the pick was much cheaper than both of those cards costed on the market. So we were used to that and we had that expectation in mind. And then this Bobby Charlton comes out as a more expensive SBC than the card, but again, it is craftable. Although a lot of people are saving packs right now for Team of the Year, of course, or at least starting to save a few packs and starting to be a little bit more careful with their fodder potentially. So that was a bit underwhelming to see the price of that SBC yesterday. And then there's the Icon Mix Player pick, and this one's good in some ways, but it's also kind of expensive in its own right. It's the exact same requirements as the regular Icon Player pick that was out for the last couple of weeks, and that Icon Player pick did not have Thunderstruck or Unbreakable cards a part of it, and that was a big surprise with this pick. It has base, Thunderstruck, and Unbreakables packable from this. It's a 1 of 3, so nothing crazy there. It's repeatable 3 times per day, and like we said, it is still the 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89 rated squads to get done. But fodder is moving up, and the price of this icon pick, it might be the most expensive icon upgrade gamble pack of the year. 418,000 coins. It is 88% downvoted. Now, I said yesterday when I started the stream that I was going to be doing it, and I did. You can see it. So it says only repeatable twice for me. I got absolutely shafted. I got Figo from this player pick. It was one of the worst that we had seen all day. But honestly, the weight on these was really bad. Usually when we're looking for a gamble pack SBC, if you will, the more expensive it is, sometimes it just seems to have better pack weight, right? Some of those like cheaper campaign mix pick packs and stuff that we have out right now too, like you're not turning in too much, so you can't expect too much. With this, you're turning in 400,000 coins worth of fodder, so the expectation and just the feeling of how important the SBC is a lot higher, right? Well, we opened a lot of these yesterday, and the weight was not that great. So if you want to test it out, I mean, this is the best icon pick that we have had so far this year with the special cards as a part of it. And some of you guys have sent me insane pulls, but the only reason I did it is because I had a ton of fodder. I'm not going to save every single pack from now until Team of the Year, so I'll be able to build that fodder back up. And I was like, you know what? We got to have a fun little test and a fun little try every once in a while. So that is why I did it. Unfortunately, we got cooked. But as you can see, a lot of people felt the same way as me, who wanted to get involved in fodder. I'm so glad that we talked about buying 88 rateds at 9,000 coins and below on bid during squad battles, because they were low for a number of hours yesterday on Sunday before going up from 9K to 10,000 coins. They were all selling. I know her graph here kind of peaks at 9.9. All of the 88s for about, an hour or so after content were over 10,000 coins selling on the market. If you bought 88s, don't fear, they are down a bit more right now. I think that's just some weekend league supply coming in as we head into, it's Sunday night late right now, early Monday morning for me. So I do believe that this fodder will rise back up as people do some SBCs during the week. So I'm not worried about that. If you have fodder, I think you can continue to lazy list it. But the fodder that maybe did the best was actually the 89s. Take a look at these. They were down at 16K, and they're almost hitting 20,000 coins. 89 Moppy Leon was 19.2 yesterday. So I would say if you have high rated fodder, continue to hold on to it, keep listing it, and wait for more rises later on during the week. Same thing with the informs. One thing that's actually going to help us out with the informs this week potentially is the upgrade pack situation. Just thought about this. The 85 plus player pick is going to expire tomorrow. This is our last day of doing the 85 plus player pick. Remember what we had before this? The 85 plus times 2. And that required an 82 rated squad with an inform. So there could be extra team of the week demand this week. I don't have very many invested. Personally, I just have a handful, like 5 or something like that. Yeah, 5 or 6 of these. Okay, a couple more than that, but just a few of them here. I'm not invested too heavy. I know some of you guys are, but I hope that those can rise up a little bit more during the week. We'll just have to see. Keep lazy listing those as always. That is the play with those cards. So that's kind of the fodder situation, and that's the part of the market that I'm not really worried about right now is fodder, because it shouldn't crash, right? When there's market crashes because of big promos upcoming, fodder usually never drops. It always stays the same or sometimes goes up. But for the rest of the market, this is the main point that I want to talk about today. Yesterday, I started feeling the vibes that the tide was turning, if you will. We've seen a market for the past couple of weeks, basically since Christmas, when we were very, very adamant about investing in a lot of different cards. Like on the 26th, on Boxing Day, the 27th, we were saying, buy some of the Winter Wild cards, especially buy some of the best of impacts cards. If you guys remember, we talked about buying cards like the Balde, the Beckhams that I bought, any of those re-release players, and a lot of the Winter Wild cards as well. Just the market in general was positioned for a good rise, and we got a great rise. Croy from 600k up to almost 700,000 coins. One of those re-released cards. Vitinha from 140k up to almost 200,000 coins. But as you can see here on the last day or so of these graphs, you've started to see the tides turn. You've started to see the prices start to drop a little bit, and I think there's a couple of reasons why, and that's why I want to really notify you guys today and start talking about why I think this is kind of the beginning. This is the tipping point and really the start of prices dropping into team of the year, because that news has started to circulate and is going to continue to grow in hype this week. Starting this week on Wednesday, once again, just a reminder, the team of the year voting is going to come out. And this little thing right here, expect some changes with the eyes emoji. That could be anything. Like, that could be something crazy. That could be something really small. But what is that going to be? And that's the question mark that I have right now. And with this incoming and with already seeing the market move like this, and as we're going to take a look at in a minute, how we know the market moves almost every single year during this time period, I think it is a great opportunity, especially if you have expensive players in your team, to look at selling those cards this week. I'm not saying you got to sell right now. I'm saying this week, and maybe even it's later on this weekend, will be a good time, I think, to safely exit positions in those cards so that you're not stuck losing a bunch of coins in the next 2 weeks, because as we head into team of the year, we are absolutely going to see more price drops. Now, speaking of team of the year leaks, so far, this is the real only concrete leak that we have, and it's for those Classic 11 hero cards that EA gave us for free. These are the upgraded versions. Basically, take your card that you got and give it a +2 in every single stat category, and that's the upgrade you're going to get, except for company. He only gets a couple of +1 stats, like on pace and maybe physical or something like that. But like for my Guti, it's legit a simple +2 across his card. These are going to be a part of the cards released in packs during Team of the Year. Just to make that clear, we get a free one for logging in, and then they're also going to be in packs. My guess is these cards are going to end up being very cheap, and of course, we'll talk about them once we're closer to Team of the Year. But back to the current situations on the market, and when we're describing how I think the market's going to move with this kind of Team of the Year panic selling started to begin before the big promo, I want to show you guys some graphs from last year, because a lot of prices this year, at least for the rise after Christmas, are probably going to operate similarly to last year, because we have the same sort of movement commonly every single year before Team of the Year. Take a look last year at William Saliba's card from Thunderstruck. Of course, a live item. He was expecting to get some upgrades, right, in December. But then look what happens here. A little bit of the first couple days in January, we see some drops. But look at his price, like where we are. The 5th of January, today. Last year, this Saliba card was 1.2 million coins. Remember, this is a very meta center back, very popular at the time, one playstyle plus, but a card that a lot of people would still want to use in and around this time of the year. And expensive. Note that as well. 1.2 million coins on January 5th. Right as Team of the Year was about to drop, he went all the way down to 724k. He was not re-released in packs, guys. This was pure panic selling and potential upgrades that were not achieved. I don't remember what happened that time of year with the Arsenal team and how they were playing for the upgrades and what happened there. But 1.2 million down to 724,000 coins. Also, I believe it didn't help that Saliba ended up getting in Team of the Year and was probably leaked to get a Team of the Year at that time. Now, you can see he did go back up after Team of the Year, but the crash was heavy. Take a look at this Dina Tally card. Also last year at that same time of the year, early January, 740,000 coins. Into the start of Team of the Year, 570K. Big drop off in price right there. And this is the cards that I really have to stress. The expensive ones. I know we've already said it, but take a look at Dino, right? Dino was 3.4 mil on January 5th of last year. Team of the Year started down a mil. 3.4, 3.5 down to 2.5 to 2.6, and he really only rebounded a couple 100,000 coins. When I start to look at player prices right now, like what is going on with this Mbappe? He was 1.5 million coins, 1.6 mil on Friday night. Even on Saturday, still 1.5 mil. And now he's 1.29. Like, sure, I get it. There's Mbappe Player of the Month leaks that are out there. But guys, we got to talk about this for a second too in the midst of this market discussion. The La Liga Player of the Month has not been decided yet. It may be in the next couple of days, but there were some leaks going around yesterday that were saying Mbappe has one Player of the Month and that his SBC was going to drop. Guys, Player of the Months for La Liga never drop on Sundays. They always drop. Same thing with Premier League Player of the Months on Fridays, and they drop earlier in the mornings, right on Fridays. So if you were somebody who was expecting that La Liga Player of the Month yesterday, we just got to be careful and double check our leak sources, like Foot Police, who of course has a lot of leaks all the time on this game. He was saying that La Liga Player of the Month has not even been announced yet, and the SBC does not exist, so all the leaks regarding that would be fake at the moment. So I think we have to be very careful in believing some of that, and could that be part of the reason that this Mbappe is down? Yes, but does Mbappe drop every year for Team of the Year? Yes, even though he does end up going out of packs because he usually gets one. Let's just double check Mbappe's card last year for Team of the Year in FC 25. Mbappe during January, right? Very end of December, early January, even dropped a little bit before that. He went from 1.6 mil last year down to 1.3 and then back up, but then boom, went way down after that into February. So right now, Mbappe is a little lower than he was last year, but I think Mbappe's been cheaper this year than he was last year overall anyway, so that's probably not a good comparison. I think Mbappe can drop lower, especially if there is a Player of the Month SBC that is out. So watch out for those leaks, because if he does win, that may hurt his card a bit more. But back to the discussion in general, the more expensive cards like these, like the Ronaldinho, the icons, just the more expensive promo players, I'm talking cards that are like a million coins or more. Those are the ones that I think you have to be more worried about than others. Take a look at this Putellas. I just saw she was like, 1.4 million coins. She was 1.65 on the weekend. Of course, the Time Warp cards have dropped off a lot. A card like this Rashford, a card like this Vitinha. These are the sort of cards that probably have more room to drop because they're just more expensive and people are going to try to get their coins before Team of the Year. And guess what? Team of the Year cards are uber expensive, right? Look at this. This is where I'm really wanting you guys to focus in on. If you have any of these multi-million-dollar cards, Cruyff, 7 mil yesterday, 6 mil today. Henry, 4.8 mil, 4.1 mil. The crash is already kind of starting on some of the top tier cards. So I think you have to be the most careful there. Now, when do you need to sell these cards? Well, some of the prices have already started dropping a little bit. Not crazy, but a little bit. I think you have during this week, there's going to be ebbs and flows. Like the best way to describe how this market's probably going to move in the next few days is you're going to have hours of panic selling where people get scared, they see prices dropping, and kind of like yesterday you saw with the time warps, that creates a little bit of panic and the prices drop a lot. But Team of the Year is still over a week and a half away. So cards are going to end up rebounding back up a little bit. I think you could be trading on the market. If you want to risky flip a little bit, you could look for crazy drops, but just try not to get caught up in a huge panic sell. Unless there's a new leak that comes out or something related to this eyes emoji is like crazy different than a normal voting period, then we should see some drops this week, but also like we're still far enough away from Team of the Year that the drops shouldn't be that crazy. So that's just kind of the message that I want you guys to get today. If you have an expensive card in your team, even if it's out of packs, I think you just want to get really careful and start looking to take the coins here pretty soon. But if you're still looking to trade like me, you can look for those fluctuations like we were talking about, and the lower budget cards, less than 150 to 200,000 coins, especially those, like I love this Mateus Cunha. You guys know this card's an amazing card to flip. I shout him out all the time. This dude you can absolutely still trade him. Like, there's no reason for his card to drop. If there's panic selling on that card, I think you buy it because Manchester United, it's his best special card. He doesn't really fit a ton of evos. He's got a dynamic image. Obviously, he's 87 rated, so he doesn't fit evos yet, but his 83 gold card hasn't been that exciting for evos so far this year. Like, that's a card you absolutely can trade with. And if you still have investments like I do on some of those re-released 86 rated cards that we were buying for evos, like I still have some ball days here. I have Ekitike as well. I don't think there's any hurry to sell those either. Yes, they've gone up a lot in price. Like Balde we bought for 60K and he's 85,000 coins, but one Evo leak, boom, this guy's going up to 90K, right? Shalhanoglu is actually perfect timing to be looking at this card and Ekitike because specifically for Shalhanoglu, he's getting upgraded and the Thunderstruck upgrades are actually pushing this price up a little bit more. He's like 45 to 47,000 coins after Inter played yesterday, scored 3 goals, which got him his final upgrade, which will give him another play style confirmed. And I'm not trying to hype this card up. I only have like 5 of them. But when you look at this card, he got the intercept playstyle added before. He's going to get one more playstyle added. Like, obviously, Tiki would be the best one, but this card already looks insane for 45,000 coins. So I think you can still trade with some of those cards right now. Time Warps, man, I traded with Suarez yesterday. I bought him for 680. I sold him for 779. It was a good little quick flip. But even on these cards, I'm going to probably kind of back away from them and be a little bit more careful with those unless it's like Xhaka, Ter Stegen, or like Milner, like one of the cheaper cards that people may just want to try out today. I would really like to be careful with these as well, just because they're just so all over the place. Those prices dropped a ton yesterday. Do we need to look at the Suarez graph? I think we do. I don't think this was because of any sort of panic selling. This was just price correction. These cards were way too expensive as we were talking about. Suarez, 1.1 mil down to 680. I bought him right here, right after content. Sold him right here. Actually, I sold him like right there as he was going up. But that was a great little flip there. On stream as well, we were talking about Royce around 400. He went from 400 to like 450. Now he's back down to 400,000 coins. So I don't know if I'm going to risk it with any of these. I'd like to be more careful with those. But in general, I think it is important to sell the most expensive cards. You can hold on to some of the 86 rated Evo investments and maybe some of those lower tier, like lower budget cards you can still trade with. But I think right now you just want to be more careful on the market. Drop your questions down below in the comments on like specific cards that you're curious about. Also, I can just tell the market's kind of headed down based on some of these trades. Like, I've lost a few coins on some flips. Like, I bought Vidic at 1.3, hoping he would rebound back up. These cards just are not rebounding back up, and that's a sign to me that people are not buying as much, and people are starting to prepare by basically not buying because Team of the Year is coming soon. So that's kind of the situation with the market that I wanted to get across to you guys today. Again, drop your questions down in the comments. I'll be active in there today, asking some or answering some of your questions there. Now, let's talk about content today on Monday a little bit. I'm not expecting a crazy day, but FC Pro is back. And I picked up, okay, you know, I'm not trying to risk too much right now, but I am going to risk it a little bit with Dan James because Tex is his pro. And these cards could actually go for 2 playstyle plus upgrades. That's what is being played for today, and that's why there's a bit of hype for the FC Pro groups today. Group A is playing today. That means it's Anders Vergang, Tex with Nunez, Dan James, Honorat. You've got Giroud, Kofries, and Nuno Tavares. Those are the live players that are playing today. And once again, to check their upgrade paths, if you earn 10 points, of course, you get a +1 overall. You earn 16 points, which is possible today after the second round of matches. You get another +1 overall. And if you qualify for the knockout round, which 3 of these players will qualify, 3 out of the 6 players from the group will move on to the knockouts, you get a play style plus and a +1 overall. So for some cards today, like Dan James, right? For Daniel James, he has only gotten 1 upgrade so far. He got a +1 weak footer skill move, right? I think that's all that he's gotten because Tex just got the 3-point threshold last time. And this card's, we're going to take a look at the graph in a second. He's already up in price a lot. But let's say Tex goes on a run today. If he goes up all the way to 16 points, which would be a crazy run, let's be honest, you have to win a lot of games. But if he gets all the way to 16 points and qualifies, you got the potential for a +1, 2, 3 overall and a playstyle plus. So imagine that. That'd be crazy. But honestly, the most likely scenario would be if Tex plays well, he gets a +1 overall here, he qualifies and gets a +1 overall here. And then, you know, you're looking at a sell in the hype situation or sell during the games. Take a look at Darwin Nunez, 46,000 coins at his lowest point. He's up to 72K. You guys know what I'm going to say, and you know what I'm going to do today. It's going to be selling in the hype. But since there's the 2 playstyle plus situation for the upgrades here that is at stake, I mean, I do think you'll see a couple of these cards rise up a little bit more today before the game start. But that's not even the most important part of the FC Pro today. I know that it's not something a lot of us are super crazy interested in, but we got to turn the stream on today, guys, and we got to watch it. I'll be kind of watching it a little bit on stream as well. You can't watch my stream and get rewards for this, unfortunately, but we'll do like 2 tabs open and kind of watch the stream and get on the market, get some games in, and then keep an eye on this at the same time and get our progress, because for watching the stream today, you get an 84/5. So that's worth it. I will have a tab open with the EA Sports Pro stream on for an hour today in the background to get an 84/5, especially with Team of the Year upcoming. Then next week as well for Group B, we have another 84 times 5. So along with that, a Darwin loan and a Chiesa loan next week. But most importantly, the 84/5, and I think there'll be like a Mystery Nation as well that'll be out for an objective. But that is important, and it is good to note because those are some good packs. But make sure you sell these guys in the hype. You guys know how it goes. These cards lost people a lot of coins last time. I know there's the hype with the 2 playstyle pluses today, but you're still going to want to sell in the hype. Now, for the rest of content today on Monday, not expecting a whole lot. Let's be completely honest. Mondays are probably tied with Thursdays for the quietest day of the week. Now, a player SBC that we could be getting today, we still have got a few names we have not seen yet. Marta Torrejon, Hoffman, and Dante. Those are the top 3 most likely cards that I think would be released still this week. If we got Vidal during the week of this week, I would be really surprised. Like, Vidal seems to be a marquee promo player for me, and now that he hasn't dropped yet, I would have to guess that he would be later on in week 2 of this promo. That's just my guess. Could be wrong. Imagine they drop Vidal and Alexis Sanchez in like a little duo thing. Whew, that Chilean links there would be pretty crazy. However, it's probably not going to be either of those two anytime soon. But like, again, a Dante, a Hoffman, or the Marta Torrejon could be very possible, or maybe we don't even get a player SBC today. That's how the content might be today. It's going to be another day to catch up on some Evos, grind through the hullet that you're maybe working on or whatever Evo chain you're doing, catch up on some gameplay through the live events and stuff like that. It's probably going to be another one of those types of days. However, we do expect a player pick, 79 plus player picks in particular, is what I would be expecting today if we're being completely honest and open about content today. Like, that's probably it. FC Pro, maybe they do something else in terms of like something special for like a little FC Pro like challenge SBC, but other than that, that's kind of all that we would be expecting today. Let's hit one of these. Can I hit one of these player picks really fast? Yeah, I think we can. We got, I'm actually kind of down bad on gold rares. I have not been crafting as much as I should be. I'm down on gold rares. I need to open some of my gold 11 packs in the store. Quick sell a whole bunch of my gold and silver packs too. Mostly quick sell the silver packs. But I want to do one of these 85 plus player picks. As long as I'm not turning in an 82. No, I'm good. Okay, those are all 80s. All right, let's do one of these 85 plus picks for the lads for the video. My luck yesterday in the icon pick, as I said, it was terrible. I got Figo. Can we just get like a little time warp something here? Show me the big red pinkish flare. Ronaldo, little, and an informed. Everybody's investing in this card because he looks crazy for Evos, but I'm telling you, I've packed him 4 times. So that might be a sell in the hype sort of situation there. If there's a center back Evo leaked, I will be selling that card in the hype based on the fact that he seems to be super duper packable and very invested in. But that's going to be the video for me today, guys. Again, let me know in the comments what questions you may have about the market at the moment, and I'll try to get to as many of you guys as I can. I will see you guys in the stream today on Monday. Have a great start to your work week, and I'll see you guys there in the stream. It's been late for the count. See you later. Peace out.